Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. I'm Julie, your host, and I'm so delighted you could join us this week. My intention in doing this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all over the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. We have a bunch of callers on hold, and so it'll be fun to see what their questions are, and I always love hearing what Spirit has to say, because as you know, Spirit works through me and with me to help answer life's unanswerable questions and also facilitate healing and do whatever else. It's always good though. So let's go right to the phones. And our first caller is Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay tonight. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Where are you located?
Just south of Cleveland, Ohio, in a suburb called Strongsville.
Yeah. I grew up, when I was a little kid, I lived in Stowe for about 5 or 6 years. Do you know where that is? Between Akron and Cleveland?
Oh, I absolutely do.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Near Kent State University.
That's right. Right next door. That's right. And Kim, you are the winner of a call, right? From our Ask Julie Ryan Live last week.
I am. Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. Very exciting.
You're welcome. What that is, everybody, is I started last month and I'm going to do it on the fourth Tuesday of each month. We're just going to do a live call on Zoom. And Kim, it was a blast, wasn't it? It was really fun. And we did some amazing healings. That one where the angels showed up, that was amazing. I got so many emails after that. And it was really extraordinary. And I think it was everybody's energy all working together and having fun. And it was really remarkable. So I give away free prizes, and you got
beautiful community.
Yeah, you got a prize that you got to ask a question on my show. So I'm happy to hear your question.
So I guess for me, I feel very much in limbo at this stage of my life. I'm 52, and I'm just wondering in the next few years where Spirit sees me actually living, and with whom.
Okay, so you're thinking about moving somewhere?
It's always in the back of my head. Am I living in the right space? In the right household where I am now, or will I be living with, in another city with somebody different? My son is here, but he's 22 today. So, what does that look like for me?
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. If you could live anywhere on the planet and money was not an option, where would you live? Let's say you're a trust fund baby and you had more money than you could spend in your whole life. What a concept, right? Where would you live?
Right. Hawaii.
Where in Hawaii?
Maui.
Maui. Why?
It was probably the single most beautiful, tranquil, serene place that I have ever set foot in.
Uh-huh.
And I just felt at peace when I was there. I felt the most connected to myself. If you're right, so if I was a trust fund baby, it wouldn't matter. So yeah, that's where I would be.
That's where you would be. Okay, so that's a really big clue for you. When we can figure out where would be the first place we would go if there weren't any obstacles, where would that be? And you said Maui. So start working towards that. And it doesn't mean that you're going to buy a house there tomorrow. It means take a step. Go to a website, look at the real estate, look at apartments, look at jobs in the career that you're in. What we tend to do when we have dreams like that is we hold ourselves back, Kim, because fear comes up and we think, oh, there's no way I could do that. I could never afford it. I wouldn't be able to find a job, blah, 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 blah. And you're making up all this stuff that you don't want to happen. And then you stagnate. You hold yourself back. So take a step and do some research, and then you're going to be led to another step and another step and another step. And you may not even end up in Maui, but it may lead you to some place where you're going to think, oh my gosh, this is like Shangri-La. This is better than I'd ever anticipated. And that's how it works. And how you know you're being led is because whatever you're looking into is interesting. It's fun. It's fascinating. You want to know more. And we take it a step by step by step situation. When you figure out where it is you want to live and you take those steps, it's amazing how the things all start to line up. Like a job, a place to live. It's like all the pieces of the puzzle just fit into place. So start that and then call back in sometime and let us know how it's going.
Okay. I will definitely do that.
Thanks for calling. Thanks for joining the live event. All righty. Bye-bye. Okay, let's go to Kathy next. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Julie.
Oh.
How are you?
I guess there's two Kathy. Sorry.
I've just got one on, I think. I should just have one on.
Julie? Oh.
Yeah. So, Kathy.
My area code is 301.
Well, let me see. I have 561. Yeah, I've got 561.
Yeah, that's me. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
I'll go and hold.
Kathy. Okay, thanks. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Julie.
Please tell everybody where you're located.
I'm calling from Florida.
Whereabouts?
I'm in South Florida, in Delray Beach.
Oh, great. Okay, so you didn't get hit with all that storm and hurricane and stuff. You're on the other coast.
Yeah, we're on the other coast, but we did get, some really bad weather, tornadoes. But no, the other coast got hit pretty bad.
I know.
Which was really terrible for them.
Well, welcome. Do you have a question for me?
Yes, I have a quick question. I wanted you to do a quick scan, Julie. 2 years ago, I fractured my elbow on my left arm, and it healed. I went to physical therapy. Everything was fine. And then last week, I don't know what I did. I hurt my arm, but it's more like towards the shoulder, kind of the upper arm area. So I went to my chiropractor that I haven't seen in almost 2 years, and he adjusted it. He said it was my humerus bone was partially popped out of my shoulder, which sounded really bad. But anyway, he popped it back in, and then I came back the next day, and he said it came out again. He told me to, not to use the arm and ice it. And so then I went back the next day, and he kind of popped it back in, and I actually am going back tomorrow to see him again. But it's just been really, really sore. And I didn't know if there was any way you could maybe scan it, and I'm hoping that's all it is, if you can see anything, or it's just crazy. I don't know what I did. I think I might have heard it. I've got two really large dogs, and I think I might have pulled it when I was walking one of my dogs, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, what I'm going to do, Kathy, is I'm going to get you on my radar. And how that works is I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to hook down. I'm going to go southeast from Birmingham to you down in Delray. And then I'm going to have a hologram of you in my mind's eye. And it's going to be as if I'm looking at an X-ray or a CT scan or an MRI. And then what I'm going to do is shoot energy through you. I'm going to go right to your left shoulder. And then I'll have in my mind's eye kind of like an X-ray of what's going on. And then there'll be some kind of healing. And I'll describe it to you. The reason why I'm so descriptive on these healings, Kathy, is because if you can envision it, it helps integrate the healing into your body. Because our bodies are going to follow what our brains are telling it, even if our brains don't believe it to be true. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam. All right, got you. Shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. Okay. So what I'm watching is I'm watching stem cell energy go around the shoulder joint. It's like there's like a fabric almost. If you can imagine an elastic band that the ball of the shoulder joint goes through, that's loose.
Okay.
So stem cell energy looks like a light amber colored gel. Kathy has sparkles in it because it's woo-woo.
Okay.
Gotta have sparkles with woo-woo. And it has a watery consistency to it. Reminds me of Dippity Doo hair gel from the 60s and 70s. And then what's happening is there's a vortex spinning on the outside of your shoulder, and that's regenerating that. It's a rotator cuff is what it is. And so it's making it tighter so that you'll have, it's not torn. If it was torn, you would know, you would be in tremendous pain. But what I'm watching is I'm watching it get reinvigorated, get tightened. Does that make sense? So it doesn't pop out.
Yes. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't see anything, any tears or anything really bad.
I don't, and if you had a tear in your rotator cuff, you would know it because it would be screaming at you. You would be in a lot of pain.
Right, exactly. It's more of a sore, kind of an achy pain. That's what I've been feeling.
Well, because your shoulder keeps popping out of joint. It's not a full dislocation, but that's kind of like a mini shoulder dislocation. Is that what your chiropractor's saying?
Yes, exactly. I just wish I knew how this happened, but I guess it could happen anyway,
I think you already know. I think it's from walking your dogs. I think they can pull.
Dogs, pull,
And over
I have big dogs, so.
Over time, that can be really a problem. Did your chiropractor suggest that you put it in a sling to let it heal?
Well, I asked him that. I asked him that. He said it wasn't really necessary. He said just try not to use my arm. Kind of hold it kind of close to my chest. Kind of bend it and hold it in. But it's hard. It's hard not to use your arm. At least it's my left arm, not my right arm. I'm right-handed. But it just all of a sudden started hurting me last week, and then I thought, well, maybe it has something to do with my elbow that I fractured 2 years ago.
I don't think it does, Kathy. I don't think it does.
Yeah.
I think that it's your shoulder, and I would suggest that you put it in a sling and let it heal. And that's going to help you keep it next to your body, and it'll heal faster that way. That's what I'm seeing. So thanks for calling. All righty, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get more callers on. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show, so stay with us. Welcome back. I believe our next caller, Sue. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Julie. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome. Please tell everybody where you live.
I'm calling from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay, terrific. You got a question for me?
Yes. Well, I have two, but I just do the most important one because I know you don't have time. But I've had sleep problems for over 20 years. It's nothing new, but I can't get a full night's sleep. I keep waking up. And when I wake up, my mind keeps racing and I think about things. And, the things that are not important becomes really huge in the middle of the night, as you know. So, I'm desperate. I have no energy during the day. I don't know if it's related to that or not, but I can't focus. I go work out, do things, but I have to make myself do all that because, I'm just exhausted. So I was, trying to see if you can, find out what's going on with me and maybe we find something that works or you can heal me or whatever you can do.
Well, I don't heal anybody. Nobody heals anybody else, Sue. We all heal ourselves. No doctor, no healer, no shaman, no whatever. heals anybody else. We just heal ourselves. So yeah, just thought I'd clarify that here real fast. But we help facilitate you healing yourself. So tell me about what happens. You go to bed. What happens before you go to bed? Do you have kind of a ritual that you do?
Yes, I read. I go to bed, I read a little bit, and then, I feel sleepy. So I usually don't have a problem falling asleep.
Right.
So I fall asleep, but then an hour or 2 hours later, I wake up. Then,
and what time are you going to bed? What time are you going to bed?
I go to bed usually 9:30 or so, but then, I'm reading and then I fall asleep maybe 10:30, something like that.
Okay.
And then, but I wake up several times and I have trouble falling back asleep. So I can never get like 6-7 hours or 5 hours of sleep.
Okay.
And I take things even. I take pills, I take natural, whatever.
Okay. All right. So a couple of things that are coming in for me that I call them divine downloads when I just get information coming into my head. I don't even need to get you on my radar to scan you. What I'm getting are a couple of things. First of all, Sue, when we wake up in the middle of the night, that's called the hour of God. Have you ever heard that before? It's called the hour of God, and it's very...
I think I have.
Yeah, it's very normal for humans. Before we had electricity and we had electric lights, people would go to bed early when it got dark, and then they would wake up in the middle of the night and they would pray, they would meditate. That's when they got information that came in from spirit. It's called the hour of God. It's ancient. And in our modern world, we've been taught that you're supposed to sleep 8 hours through the night. Well, a lot of people don't, especially the older you get, the less sleep that you need. Kids need a lot of sleep because they're growing. We don't so much when we get older. And what happens is when you wake up in the middle of the night, you're getting anxious. And so that raises your cortisol levels, which puts you into stress mode, which puts you into fight or flight. And you're just waking yourself up and getting yourself all wound up. Couple of things. First of all, the hour of God. Yeah, what happens is with the hour of God is that's when spirit can communicate with us because our brains had a little bit of a rest for a couple of hours. And so we're not focused on what's happening throughout the day and all of the stresses and all the stuff we got to do and all that stuff. So what you want to do, a couple of suggestions. First of all, no screen time for 2 hours before you go to bed because that gets our brains all wound up. So do that. I know you've probably tried taking a hot bath. That'll help. The other thing is, do you have a prayer that you like to say? There are a lot of people that say the rosary in the middle of the night that aren't even Catholic. And wayoftherose.org, check that out. It's a huge community of tens of thousands of people globally. And a lot of them aren't even Catholic, but they say the rosary together and it's a meditative kind of a prayer. I suggest I'm getting spirits telling me to have you look into that. And I do that when I'm awake in the middle of the night, Sue, but I don't have a rosary in bed with me because I'm afraid I'm going to wake up the next morning and I'm going to have like an imprint of the crucifix on my cheek or something. I will have laid on it, while I'm asleep. So I just use my fingers and I say the prayers on my 10 fingers. So that's convenient. But that's what I'm getting. The other thing that I'm getting as a suggestion for you, Sue, is to think about when you're eating dinner, eat some kind of healthy carbs at dinner, whether that be sweet potatoes or acorn squash is in season right now. That's really good. Something like that. The healthy carbs are going to help you sleep better as well. So those are the suggestions that I'm getting for you. But the big thing is, it's okay that you're awake in the middle of the night. Say a prayer. Say the rosary, something that's going to be repetitive, and then you're going to fall asleep. You're going to fall back asleep, and I believe you'll sleep well. And that way, that'll keep you from getting all wound up. And And then it's really hard to fall back asleep when you're in fight or flight. So give that a try and then let us know how that goes for you. Thanks for calling. Okay, let's go to Marie next. Hi, Marie.
Hello.
How are you, my dear?
Hello.
Hi, Marie. Can you hear me?
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Please tell everybody where you're located.
I am currently calling from Europe in Norway.
Oh, my goodness. What time is it there? About 2 a.m?
It's almost 3 in the morning. It's 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, my goodness. God bless you. Well, you got a question for me? Obviously, you do if you're up in the middle of the night. You could be talking to Sue. Sue would be up in the middle of the night, too. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the call. So I just want to request if you can do a scan on me.
Sure.
So 4.5 years ago, I got pregnant with twins. They are now 4.5. And 4.5 now, my tummy, I still look like I'm 6 months pregnant. And granting that I have 7 kilos more to lose before reaching my pre-pregnancy weight, I had just been worried about why. Is there something going on in there? I know a friend of mine had a cyst, and I've done an ultrasound and there was nothing like that. So I just want to make sure that nothing is going on under that makes me still look like I'm 6 months pregnant.
That you don't have some big fibroid in there or something like that. Yeah, I've seen those. Is it just skin, Marie? Is it skin that's just like if you got a tummy tuck? Is that what it is more than anything? Or is it hard, like when you were pregnant?
It's hard. It's not skin. I mean, I lost a lot of it after I delivered the twins, but still, I'm still like 8 kilos more than my pre-pregnancy weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't look like I'm chubby, but just my tummy is like sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, what is going on in here? I couldn't get it out.
Okay. There's I'm trying to remember the gal's name. I'm not remembering it off the top of my head, but did you have the babies vaginally or did you have them C-section?
C-section.
C-section. All right. The muscles in the abdomen, oftentimes when we're pregnant, they separate and if we don't work them right away to get them back in line, that separation can still be there. So Google that, Marie, and see what you can do about that. What I'm watching.
I actually had it.
Okay. You had what?
I actually had the separation, diastase. But my doctor said it's almost, it's closed, although I don't feel the muscle.
I don't think it's closed because I'm closing it right now. I've already connected to you energetically in Norway. And what I'm doing is I'm stitching those muscles together so they're back in place. And then I'm using stem cell energy on them to make them tighter. So it's kind of like an energetic tummy tuck here. And then we'll remove some of the extra tissue that's there. But this is a muscle thing that's going on. And that's what's happening. And that's why if you look at all the old masters paintings of women with their babies, oftentimes they've got this little pouch and statuary, on their stomach. Mm-hmm. They've all got this little pouch on their stomach. And we think, what's up with that? That was before tummy tucks. Yeah. But I think too, that's what happens is those muscles get separated. Did your doctor give you any suggestions for that?
Well, he suggested that I will need a tummy tuck. Even if I do lose the weight, I will need a tummy tuck because I got so big when I was pregnant with the twins. And the cesarean was the first surgery I've ever had in my life. And if there was another way, I don't want to go through surgery again, but if it is the only way, I probably have to do it.
That's what I'm getting to, that a tummy tuck's warranted if you want to go that route. Spanx, they've got those old fashioned, they're kind of like modern day girdles. This is what Spanx are. And, those things that can help in the short run, but I'm getting a tummy tuck too. So that's what I watched happen, I watched an energetic tummy tuck happen to you. Tell us about your twins, boys, girls, one of each.
Yeah, one of it. I mean, I'm so blessed. I had 7 in vitro fertilization.
Oh my!
And the 7th one was the one that got me the twins. I mean, I went through the whole journey of failure after failure, and suddenly on the 7th time, we got this beautiful boy and girl who are 4.5 years old now, and I couldn't be more blessed and thankful for them. And I want to be in strong, so I can play with them. Now they're very active, so they are just beautiful souls.
I bet. What gave you the strength to keep going, to keep trying on the and it took you 7 tries? What was the thing that really had you, not ever give up, not throw in the towel?
I knew
was there something?
I knew that, and I always wanted a boy and a girl, and I knew it that I will have them.
There you go.
I didn't have, I never gave up.
Well, Marie, thank you for being up in the middle of the night and calling in. Congratulations on your babies. Stay with us, everybody. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll get more callers on. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Stay with us. And we're back. Let's go to the phones. And I believe our next caller is Dinez. Hi, Dinez.
Hi, Julie.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Terrific, thanks. Where are you located?
I am in Midlothian, Virginia, which is just a little bit outside of Richmond.
Okay, terrific. Well, you got a question for me?
I do, and I appreciate you taking my call. My father has recently been admitted to the ICU in Puerto Rico. And I just wanted to see if you could do a quick scan on him to see if he has entered any of the transition phases, and if so, if you can tell where he is in one of the 12 phases.
Sure. What's his name, Dinez? What's his first name?
His name, it's Edward.
Edward. Does he go by Edward or Ed or Ted?
He goes by Eddie.
Eddie. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to you over in Virginia, and then it'll go south to Puerto Rico. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading into you. All right. Got you. Heading south to Puerto Rico. Eddie. Eddie is in phase 7 of 12. And what we're talking about, for those of you that are not aware, it sounds like we're talking in secret code, Dinez, but it's not. It's the 12 phases of transition, which is a series of events that people go through as they're dying. Everybody goes through it. And we're surrounded by angels and the spirits of deceased loved ones and pets. So he's in phase 7. Dinez, he's a little more than halfway through. There are 3 questions I always ask somebody when they're dying. Number 1, Eddie, are you ready to go? He says, not quite yet. Are you in pain at times? What do you need? To know my family loves me. Does that make sense to you?
It makes complete sense. It does.
How so?
It does. I mean, he's always talked about, wanting to know that his children love him. And I think that's just, as he's gotten older, that he's just realized how much more important his family and his children are. And I think he always, wonders if we love him, which we do.
Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you letting me know where he stands.
Well, Dinesh, I just asked him while you were talking, because, we're girls, we can multitask. It's one of our superpowers. Are you going to go down? Are you going down there?
Right now, I don't know. I feel like I should.
Okay. Couple of suggestions. Number one, have you read my book, Angelic Attendants, What Really Happens as We Transition from This Life into the Next? Have you read that yet?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the 12 phases of transition, there's a chart on my website. It's a free download. Anybody listening or watching, go to AskJulieRyan.com, go to the 12 phases of transition tab. You'll see the chart. It'll say free download. Download that, Dinesh. Put it on your phone for easy access. And then you just ask in your head or aloud, what phase is my dad in? What phase of transition's my dad in? And you'll get a number. And then you refer to the chart and you can tell what's going on as far as the position of angels around him and deceased loved ones and the spirits of deceased pets. If you're seeing that he's moving through those phases fairly quickly and you want to go, then that's your indicator that you want to go. Some people can hover in phases for a really long time. The other thing that I got as a suggestion for you, Dinesh, is to consider, do you have other family members down there that can hold up a phone or an iPad or something and you can just tell him you love him on the phone and he can hear you? Because hearing is the last thing to go. Okay. We'll do that.
Yes, he is intubated right now. So, and he is sedated some, but he can hear. So yes, I do appreciate that.
Yeah. So be sure that all of his children tell him, Dad, I love you. It's okay to go, watch over us from heaven kind of a thing. And you'll be surprised at how that really gives them peace. And that's what he's asking for. So you don't have to be there in person, but use technology and have that suffice in the short run.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. All right, let's go to Valerie next. Hi, Valerie. Valerie. Okay, well, let's go to, how about Marianne? Hi, Marianne.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm terrific. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful, and I'm calling from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay, terrific. Got a question for me?
I do, Julie. So it's kind of a two question, but it's intertwined. It goes together. So recently, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and I've also had some issues with mold, I believe. So I'm not sure if it's Lyme or mold, but the underlying question of these two things are: I'm concerned that I may not be able to get pregnant because I'm already nearly at age 40, where potentially I could or could not. And I'm also scared of transferring any type of Lyme over to the fetus. So I'm just wondering, can I get pregnant? Do you see that? What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. You have two baby spirits over your right shoulder. Baby spirits look like little orbs and they attach to the mom's energy field before they're conceived. So yes, absolutely. Age is not a disease. I talked to somebody last week who was 52 and had a baby and lives in Louisiana and just, lives on her family's farm from 8 generations or something and eats healthy and all of that. Along those lines, Marianne, get a hold of a copy called The Better Baby Book. The Better Baby Book. And it's by
fabulous.
BBB, Better Baby Book. And so that's going to help you figure out what's going to be the easiest way for you to be fertile. There's very detailed information in there. It's by Dr. Lana Asprey and Dave Asprey. So get a hold of that. That's number one. Okay. Number two, let me scan you. And I'll be able to see about the mold and the Lyme, and we'll energetically get it out of you. How about that? So let me get you on my radar.
Wonderful. Thank you.
here we go from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading to you in Philly. All right, got you. Yeah, you got mold. This is mold. Where's the mold? Is it in your home? While I'm talking, I'm getting the mold out of your system because, again, we can multitask. So I'm watching the healing in my head and talking with you. Where do you had a water leak in your home or in your office?
Wow. Yes, both of the above.
Okay.
The mold, the Lyme. I don't know if the Lyme came before the mold because I lived in New York, and I recently moved into Philadelphia, and there was mold in the basement of the home that was removed. So it's just an intermix of the Lyme and the mold now. So yeah, spot on.
Lyme, Marianne, is often misdiagnosed mold exposure because it shows up the same on the tests. And I read a statistic recently that it was like 90-something% of Lyme is misdiagnosed mold. And what happens is they give you tons of antibiotics for the Lyme, and then that just whacks your gut and it allows the mold and the yeast overgrowth and everything just to go nuts. So there's a gentleman who's a doctor in San Diego called Neil Nathan, MD, Dr. Neil Nathan. Okay. I want to get a hold of his book. Both these books, Better Baby book and Neil Nathan's book, it's called Toxic. They're both on audiobook. So you can listen to them, and get through them faster if you don't have time to read them. Or just look up Dr. Neil Nathan, and he's been interviewed. A lot of these authors, when their books are coming out, they're interviewed on shows, and you can get the gist of what they're talking about in about an hour by watching an interview on YouTube or listening to a podcast. That's kind of a shortcut way to do it. But I want you to get in touch with his information because it's going to help you detox from the mold exposure. In the short run, that will help. In the long run, remediation. Have you called in a remediation company at your home?
Yes, we have done that. We have taken it out. Now it's, it's just the worry of, it's out, but is there something else? You don't really know because that's all that was spotted as we moved in. So but it has been taken out.
There's a company online called Mold Finders, and you want to look up that on. Do you do Instagram? Look on Instagram because they're the most thorough guys that I've ever heard. And for heaven's sakes, never ever 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 use Clorox on mold. That's what most of us think we need to put just bleach on mold. Bleach is mostly water, and when the chemicals in the bleach evaporate, it leaves a bunch of water and it makes the mold grow. So you want to switch with hydrogen peroxide and research that too when you have mold. Did you get your HVAC system cleaned out?
No, I have not had that done.
That would be
that was an issue as well too.
That would be the next thing I would do is get your HVAC and talk to them about there's a device that they can put on your system that will kill mold. It's some kind of UV something light. We have it on our HVAC systems and it seems to really help and it keeps mold down. So in the short run too, what you can do, Marianne, is you can get an air purifier and at least run it in your bedroom because it's going to help purify the air in your home. And you have a water leak issue, mold issue in your office too, it sounds like.
The basement specifically, that's where it's at. And I rarely go down there. Yeah, I try to avoid it.
Good.
But I think you've been immensely helpful.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Check out those resources. Thanks for calling. Hope you feel better.
Thank you,
and
Julie.
Let us know when the babies are here.
Thank you so much.
Send me a picture. I'll post it.
Oh, we will.
All right, everybody. That's it for this week. What a delight to talk to everybody who called in, or all the ones that I got on anyways. To those of you that I didn't get to, please call back in another time and I'll do my best to get you on. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful next week. Sending you lots of love. Mwah, from Sweet Home, Alabama. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Julie on Instagram and YouTube at Ask Julie Ryan and like her on Facebook at Ask Julie Ryan. To schedule an appointment or submit a question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.
This show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical, psychological, financial, or legal advice. Please contact a licensed professional. The Ask Julie Ryan Show, Julie Ryan and all parties involved in producing, recording, and distributing it assume no responsibility for listeners' actions based on any information heard on this or any Ask Julie Ryan shows or podcast.